Okay, once you set up your social media content creation site, whatever it is, YouTube, TikTok, you're gonna need your studio to look good. You want it to look somewhat professional. And that's where getting good lights comes in really, really important. Now, I did find a really nice affordable light here recently that I think might be something, if you're trying to build that kind of professional look for your social media studio, might really, really be helpful for you. Now, this is a SUTEFOTO P100 Bi color LED light. That's a 100-watt light, and it really brings a lot of great features that won't break the bank. If you're out there trying to get your studio set up and need to get some lights that can help you create and craft that more professional image, this could be exactly what you're looking for. Now, one good thing about this SUTEFOTO P100 Bi is that it does come with a lot of really nice professional features, and it only comes in at $180. It is very, very affordable. As a matter of fact, you can buy 2 of these for less money than you can buy some of the leading brands that have comparable power and, honestly, feature sets that this light has. One other feature of this light that I do think is worth noting is the fact that it does come with a bag. Now, I love having bags. Sometimes I feel when you go for these more affordable LED lights, one of the ways they try and cut a corner is they don't give you a bag, which really puts you in a bad situation because you're left not having any good way to transport. And this is a cool little touch, too. It's got these little braces up here at the top that you can put a light stand that you could probably just go around and carry a light stand with you. I think this is a really nice little feature. I don't think I've ever seen a bag that did that, and I really like that. I think it's a great little touch. Good to have. Now, the first thing you want to know is this light is a 100-watt light, which means 2 really important things. The first thing is it does not draw a lot of power. You can easily plug this into any wall outlet you have just about anywhere and be able to make sure you can power this. And not only that, you can probably plug at least 2 lights on one outlet and know you got it. Something that's very, very useful if you are setting up a home studio. The other thing is that because this is a 100-watt LED light, it packs a good punch on it. 58,600 lumens is what this light can max out at if you're using the DC power. We'll talk about that in a minute. And it's bi-color. That means it goes from a 2800 Kelvin up to a 10,000 Kelvin temperature. And once you start working with bi-colored lights, it's one of those things that you never want to live without it. This is great if you're in a room that has windows or other lighting that you want to match with. You can easily match this light to get that Kelvin temperature and know you get a nice professional looking set. In addition to that, this light does have a lot of nice options in how you power it. The first thing is it has a standard DC 24 volt input. That means you can literally plug this in a wall and let it go all day. And all the power strips and all the cables come inside the case. However, if you look on the sides here, you will see that you can power this with Sony NP batteries. And literally all you gotta do is you click it, you'll hear it click in, take another one, click it in right there, and you can see there's a power right here. I can switch that from DC up to battery, and then boom, as you can see, now I am here on battery power, shooting with my batteries. And what I love about that is now I can take this, I can actually pop it off my stand, and boom, I have a portable light source ready to go wherever I need. This is very, very handy when you're running out in the field having this option. Now, one note about this battery option mode is when you are using the Sony NPs, the light will max out at 80%. So you can't go to a full 100%. If you need to find yourself going to the full 100%, you need to make sure you are plugged into the DC power. Now, in addition to the power, it has something that is super, super important, and that is it has a Bowens mount. I'll basically push this thing off here, right here, so you can see, and Bowens mounts are essentially now the industry standard for mounts. And let's be honest, if you get an LED light like this, you're going to want to have options for what you put on the front of the light. It's not just the light itself, it's what you can use to modify it. Now, in the case, it does come with this nice little reflector that comes as part of the light kit. You can just click that in there and it pops. Now, if you look at the back here, you can see we have a lot of options as well. Very, very powerful light. It has a lot of punch in it. Now, in addition to being able to control the power on this light, I can control the Kelvin temperature, and the Kelvin temperature goes from 2800 K up to 10,000 K. So I can literally dial this in. If I really want to bring that up, you can see I can really make it nice and blue here, or I can go ahead and dial it back down and give me a nice warmer light tone, just really based on how I want. So this is a really, really nice component. Now, in addition to having classic color temperature modes, you can come in, you have different effects you can do. So I can do like a campfire. There's 6 effects that come with it. I'll put a list up here of what they are. Pretty basic effects, that you see most days in any LED light. Now, another thing that I think is really important, if you look on the back here, I'm gonna dial down this thing so it's not quite so bright, is you do have a channel and a group button. And this is really, really great because you can support up to 6 groups and 12 channels on this thing in kind of a master slave mode for the light. And that means you can control a whole little studio of lights. Now, there is one other thing this light does that I would consider absolutely critical, that don't even bother buying a light nowadays if it can't do that, and that is you can control it with an app. So you can see here, they have an app called the SSLED. I'll go ahead and open that up, and you can connect it the first time you do it, and there it connects, and I'll come in here now. It's very, very easy to set up. It goes very well. And now you can see here, as I control it, I can bring it all the way up. Very, very easy. Bring it all the way down. I can control my color temperature all the way up to 10,000K, all the way down to 28K. Really, really have that nice control. You can come here. I can now come into my FX. And let's say I want to go to my fire effect. You can see the fire effect back there. I can control how fast it flickers. And I can control the intensity of the light itself. Really, really nice because you end up putting your lights here in so many different places that it's so hard to get to this back sometimes. Having an app is one of those things absolutely critical. The other good thing about having this app is you can set up multiple lights at once, control them all, and dial in the look exactly where you want, which I consider is one of those things that if you have a home studio, you're gonna absolutely want. Now, all that being said, it's a nice little light. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if it's got enough power to get what we needed to do in a practical situation. Okay, so here's where I really like to demonstrate why the power of this light is so important, because most of the time when you have a light like this, you're gonna be punching it through diffusion or bouncing it. So what I have here is I've taken this P100 Bi and I've put it here on an aperture light dome tube. Now this is punching through 2 layers of diffusion and a grid. I'm knocking off several stops of light, but as you can see, I still have plenty of power here to get my light. I'm shooting this at an 800 ISO at a 2.8 and 150th a second. This is generally how I'd shoot almost all my interview type settings. So you can see this light, even if you double diffuse it and put a grid in front of it, still gives you plenty of opportunities to get good looking, nice light. Pretty cool. Okay, so here I want to demonstrate the other area where I think having a light that is battery operated, that has this bi-color functionality, really, really helps. As you can see, I'm outside, it is very bright. I have a lot of bright lights shining, but I'm still able to have this light out here, no cables. I just have it on battery operated power. It gives me total flexibility. I could literally shoot anywhere in the yard. So as you can see right now, it's doing a really, really good job of illuminating me, and this is only at 44% power. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it down all the way, just so you can see what happens when I take that light away. And then I can bring it back up. And what's great about having this much power in a battery operated light, I'm gonna go and bring it up. You can see just how much it blows me away. It's actually blinding me. Is I can once again put diffusers or other things on there if I need to. I can have total flexibility, and having a battery operated light like this really gives me a lot of flexibility. Really nice function if you are a content creator and you're going to be out there, you need a portable light that you can go and take places. This really does check that off in a really, really nice way. All right, so there you go. Now you know a couple of areas where this P100 Bi can really kind of come in and hold its own as far as what you might need it to do if you have a content creation idea. Now, while this is a nice little light and I think a great value for the money, it is not a perfect, so there are some cons that I think I should point out just in case you're wanting to get it. And the first thing would be, it is a solid plastic design, but it's not metal. So I think this is one of those things that if you're getting ready to set up a home studio, or you're one of those people that shoots maybe once a month or something like that, this would really, really do well. If you find yourself shooting a lot, throwing this stuff in and out of bags, I don't know if this would be something that would hold up over, say, 2 or 3 years of heavy use, throwing in vehicles and throwing in cars. Now, that being said, most of you may never ever need that. And I really think where this would shine is if you have a home studio, you can set it up. I think this thing would last you a long time. So there you go, guys. That is the SUTEFOTO P100 Bi. It is a nice, very, very affordable light that packs a really nice punch. And if you need to find something to help you get started on that content creation world, this could be something that could really help you get that studio up and running. Anyway, guys, love to hear what you have to say about this. Leave me any notes and comments down below. And yeah, go out there, keep on shooting. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon.